Welcome, focused learners. If you're trying to navigate the absolute jungle that is Amazon FBA right now, you can consider this explainer your ultimate survival guide. Today, we're cutting through all the noise and breaking down the 5 golden rules of Amazon product research. And listen, we're not talking about going off your gut feeling or just kind of guessing what might sell. Nope. We're talking about hard, data-backed validation. So let's jump right in.
I want to start by hitting you with a pretty staggering number. Just look at this, 97%. You see our stickman over there dropping his notebook in total shock? Well, honestly, that is exactly how most new sellers feel when they see this. The data shows that a whopping 97% of products launched on Amazon fail to hit even $1,000 in monthly revenue. I mean, let that sink in for a second. Almost everyone fails. And why? Mostly because they're blindly guessing instead of actually validating their ideas. They launch the wrong stuff, and then boom, they're stuck with dead stock, wasted ad spend, and just a whole lot of regret.
So that begs the million-dollar question, right? How do you actually stop guessing, separate yourself from the pack, and join that ridiculously profitable 3%? Well, spoiler alert, it's not luck. It comes down to strictly following a specific framework. We're going to walk through the exact 5 data-backed rules that the top 3% use to not just survive, but absolutely crush it and scale on Amazon FBA.
Which brings us to rule number 1. Target a best sellers rank between 300 and 5,000.
Now, just to make sure we're all on the exact same page here, let's quickly define BSR. Best Sellers Rank is basically Amazon's internal algorithmic scorecard. It tells you exactly how well a specific product is selling compared to literally everything else in its top-level category. A lower number means higher sales volume. It's essentially the heartbeat of consumer demand.
And this range, 300 to 5,000, is your Goldilocks zone. Think about it. On one hand, if you target a BSR over 5,000, you end up like our stickman here falling into an empty abyss. There's just zero demand and your inventory is going to collect dust. But on the flip side, target a BSR under 300. Now our stickman is getting totally crushed by a massive crowd. You're stepping into a heavily oversaturated arena with the mega brands. To succeed, you have to avoid those overly crowded markets while still guaranteeing that buyers are actually looking for the item. So, 300 to 5,000, that is exactly where you want to live.
Okay, moving on to our competitive landscape. Rule 2. Find niches with under 1,000 reviews.
Trying to go head-to-head with established giants is literally the biggest rookie mistake you can make. Just think about it logically for a second. When you launch a brand new product, you've got 0 reviews, zilch. If the top 10 listings in your category all have, say, 10,000 plus reviews, like that giant bar crushing our stickman, you are never going to look credible next to them. You just won't. But if you target a niche where the top competitors average under 1,000 reviews, now that is a manageable bar. It's something you can actually climb. It means you've got a genuine fighting chance to rank organically and build up your own social proof without needing a massive budget.
All right, moving right along to Rule 3. This is a super operational one. Keep the weight under 5 pounds.
Why does this matter so much? Because physical size and weight act like a massive anchor on your FBA profit margins. Just look at how drastically the fulfillment fees spike the second you cross into a new tier. Take a look at this table here. If you have a small standard item, so under 16 ounces, Amazon might charge you around $3.22 to fulfill it. But the second you cross into the large standard tier, that fee can jump to $5.67 or even more. Guys, that's a massive 76% cost increase just because your product is a tiny bit larger or heavier. Literally, every single ounce eats directly into your bottom line.
So the mantra you absolutely need to remember here is keep it light to keep your margins right. Sourcing these small, standard items under 5 pounds does 2 massive things for your business. First off, it keeps those ridiculous air and sea freight costs way down when you're importing. And second, it helps you completely dodge Amazon's crazy storage fees, especially their newer low inventory and inbound placement charges. Keeping it light gives you the flexibility you need to maintain a really healthy net margin of 25% or more.
Let's transition over to Rule 4. Rule 4, price between $15 and $70. This is all about finding that ultimate retail pricing sweet spot.
See our stickman over there finding a literal treasure chest? That's because this exact price range is absolutely mandatory for a successful launch. If you stray outside of this $15 to $70 window, the basic economics of your Amazon business will just start to completely unravel.
Let's step through exactly why that happens. Look at step 1. If you price your item under $15, Amazon's fixed referral and FBA fees are going to eat up virtually all of your profit. You'll essentially be doing a ton of work just to make pennies. No thanks. Step 2 is our $15 to $70 sweet spot. Here, the margins are actually fat enough to absorb your ad spend and still leave cold, hard cash in your pocket. And then there's step 3. What if you go over $70? Well, high-ticket items totally drain your cash flow because the inventory is incredibly expensive to reorder. Plus, when people pay premium prices, their expectations skyrocket, which means your return rates go way, way up.
And that brings us to our final, and maybe most important, rule for long-term survival. Rule 5. Private label potential.
Read this quote with me. Private label margins outperform dropshipping. Your unique branding justifies premium positioning. The data on this is crystal clear. If you're just dropshipping or reselling generic commodity stuff, you are basically in a never-ending race to the bottom on price. And competing on price alone? That is a losing game. You want to sell premium value, and the way you do that is through private labeling. It's how you graduate from just casually selling a product to actually building a legitimate business.
Look at our stickman confidently slapping his own unique logo right on a generic item. By finding products that have real private label potential, you can attach your own branding, instantly stand out from the sea of identical products, build real brand trust, and create this premium perceived value in the buyer's mind. Doing this lets you price your product 20 to 40% higher than the basic commodity versions. You're not just getting a quick sale, you're actively building brand equity and fiercely defending your slice of the market.
So, let's wrap this up. You now have the exact framework. You know the 5 golden rules of Amazon product research. BSR between 300 and 5,000, under 1,000 reviews, under £5, price between $15 and $70, and it must have private label potential. The data is right here in front of you. So, the question is, are you going to apply this survival guide and build a highly profitable business? Or are you going to just guess and become another part of that failing 97% statistic? Will you be in the 3%? Honestly, the choice is entirely yours. Thanks for hanging out with me on this explainer and keep learning.